Hello there, retro gamers, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Quickie. For Sunday Quickie, we need the video to A, be on a Sunday, which actually is a Sunday today. Usually I tell a little bit of a fib and release it on other days that aren't Sundays, but anyway, never mind that. Today actually is Sunday. B, we need some sort of retro gaming subject we can all delve into together and talk about. And C, low production values, no script, cheap Kmart lights, which are not doing too bad of a job, if I'm going to be honest. Pretty good for, I don't know, whatever I paid for them. Anyway, that is irrelevant to the subject of this video, which is, let's have a look on the screen, an unreleased Mario Kart tech demo for Game Boy Advance, which has just surfaced in the last week or so. I think this is dated the 15th, so I guess I'm a little bit behind on the times, but that's just the way these things go. So, what is it? Well, pretty much the Nintendo Life, title there pretty much sums it up pretty nicely. I guess there's not really much more I can say about that. So, when we think of Mario Kart on the Game Boy Advance, of course, we're going to think of Mario Kart Super Circuit, which released in 2001. But this tech demo goes back to April 2004. Nintendo Life referred to it as infamous. Personally, I'd never heard of it, but you know, it's a pretty cool thing that's worth looking at, and whether it's infamous or not, it has now been made available online to download from the great website Forest of Illusion, which is a great resource which I've used a couple of times for this channel, and you can play it yourself. So we're going to talk about its history, and we're going to have a look at the actual tech demo itself. So let's just switch over to the actual Forest of Illusion webpage here, which I will link below. This is where you can download the ROM if you wish to try it for yourself. Today we'll be playing it in a Game Boy Advance emulator. I'm using Visual Boy Advance, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, what is it? Who made it? Let's go. This was created in early 2004 by a company called Daenerys Entertainment Software. It's not really a name that springs to my mind. It may for you, maybe it does for you, maybe it doesn't. Irrelevant. But what is notable, I guess, see, no script, told you about that, is it was co-founded by, or at least founded by, Manfred Trenz, who was the creator of the Turrican series. So that is definitely very notable. So basically, he created this tech demo and tried to basically sell it to Nintendo in Europe, and it didn't go anywhere, but it's pretty cool, I think. So if we just, this is like a screenshot of, yeah, here we go. So this is Super Circuit, which was released in 2001. That is a tiny screenshot. I like when you click it enlarge and it's just like the same size. I guess it's the actual size of a Game Boy Advance screen. Anyway, that's what that looks like. If we scroll over to here, again, tiny little screenshots and zoom in. As I said, I'll show you the demo in motion in a moment. But as we can see, it's miles ahead, I think, personally, in the visuals department. So if we go down to a README here, which was released with the tech demo, we have a description from Manfred himself, and as you can see there, dated April 2004, demonstration of a dynamic adjustable perspective view on dual playfields for a Mario Kart racing game. So adjustable perspective, the way I've interpreted that basically means it's kind of 3D. Like you can drive around in circles. It's not like a fixed view, I guess, would be a good way of saying it. So, you know, kind of like Mode 7, I guess. No, Mode 7. It's not called Mode 7. Anyway. And the dual play fields, they'll make sense when we start playing. So I'll just show you that rather than try to explain it. But yeah, anyway, it shows all the controls and everything here. Interestingly, this sort of technology was used in a different tech demo called R3D, which had monster trucks and stuff in it, I guess, by the looks of it. Haven't played this, didn't download it, but that's what that looks like. And so there is a video here by Hard for Games, which is a great YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a great resource for unreleased and prototype games that have found their way online. So yeah, if you're not aware of him, Hard for Games, definitely go check him out. So we'll talk a little bit about Nintendo and what happened afterwards, but I reckon it would be a good idea to actually check out the demo itself. So, like I said, I'm using Visual Boy Advance version 2.01. I'm not sure if that's the most recent release or not, but I can vouch for this working in Windows 10. The only thing I had to change was in the audio department. I wasn't getting any sound at all. By default, it was on SDL, so I changed it to Open AL purely because that was the next option. I don't know what any of this means, but that made the audio work, basically, is what I'm saying. So I can't see where the ROM is because the microphone is in the way. As I said, no production values. Alright, here we go. So, Unearthed Entertainment Software. The infamous Unearthed Entertainment Software. And we're in. So, you can play it or you can watch a demo, basically, of someone else playing it. So, I won't show you that, I'll show you me playing it. Show you me playing it. That is great sentence structure, Brendan. You're really killing it today. And here we go. So, as we can see, like I was saying before, you can just drive around at will. It's not really set. Oh, and I've already crashed. So, there you go. That's a good example of the dual playfields. What was the terminology used? Oh yeah, just dual playfields. So obviously we're racing around on the top here, but basically there's two levels to the gameplay. You can go ooh, and fall off. You get a bit of a splash there if you land in the water, but if you land on solid ground, it's alright. You're not going to explode, you're just going to splash as well. So I think I'd rather splash than explode. So there's full 360 degree movement, which is great. There's some sort of real-time reflections going on Mario's head there. He's got a very shiny noggin for some reason. Not really sure why. And yeah, there's coins on the road. You can't collect them. It's just a tech demo, so there's no real gameplay here. It's just showing that the technology works. And you can go around the entire course. You can do a lap, and the lap counter doesn't even change. Basically, the only functional bit of the gameplay, besides from the fact you can move, is the timer. So it's timing you, but as I said, you can't lap, basically. So it's kind of cool there. There's like you can see through to the bottom playfield in real time. I thought that was a nice effect. And yeah, here we go, approaching the finish line, and as you can see, it still says lap 1 of 3. So that's all there is to show you of that. So let's exit out of there. So obviously this never went anywhere, unfortunately. The only Mario game we got, like I've mentioned, was Super Circuit. But Unearthed did release a selection of games. So it looks like these are games for kids mostly, which, as far as I can tell, is a pretty lucrative market to be in. Obviously not, you're not going to be a Naughty Dog or a Bungie of the world, but I think there's a lot of money in selling kids games. It's probably just not that interesting, I guess. So it looks like they're around until about 2009, so we can assume that they're not around anymore. But the only games that stood out to me were Horses, because I'm pretty sure my sister had that game on DS. Oh, no, that's something else. That's some sort of pony game. 2006, that would have been on the DS for sure. I'm just going to look this up real quick. DS. Yeah. Absolutely. My sister 100% had this game when she was a kid. So, little sister, if you're watching, hello. Here's a game that you played and probably haven't thought about in quite a few years. But the other, or more of a, speaking of infamous things, there is also a Crazy Frog racing game which came out in 2005. So watching the Hard for Games video on Mario Kart XXL, he's American, I think. Maybe he's Canadian, I don't know. But he didn't really seem to know what Crazy Frog is. I don't think it was that big in the United States, but it was massive in Europe, and it was definitely massive here in Australia. I looked it up. The song, the ding, 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 that bloody song that came out in 2003. I was like 10 years old, so I would have been the prime market for that song. 100%. And honestly, I'm quite surprised I didn't have Crazy Frog Racer. That's what Crazy Frog Racer looks like. So as you can see, it's using the same technology. So that's really the notable connection here between the prototype and the bloody Crazy Frog. Just, oh man, I gotta find this game. I reckon that would be a fun, if not massively annoying review. But so yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. It could have been an awesome Mario Kart game, and instead it became Crazy Frog Racer on the Game Boy Advance. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about the Mario Kart XXL tech demo. Thank you so much for watching. Again, links are in the description if you want to check this out yourself, and I'll catch you in the next video.